What's up, guys? This is Justin from the Board Game Losers, and I'm back. And you probably thought I was in a funeral home or in a grave somewhere because it's been one hot minute. So let me tell you a little bit about my life since the last time I uploaded, which has been a while. I'm pretty sure you all know I worked at a college here in the state of Georgia for 17 years. Well, I decided that I was going to leave there, go work with Edward Jones as financial advisor. I started that training program, and there's a long story short, but I basically decided that that wasn't for me, that I enjoyed what I did in the IT world way too much. And so I decided to go back. So at the beginning of April, I went back to where I was at before, to the same college. I took my boss's position, so now I'm the CIO at that institution. And so I've been hit the ground running and playing catch up for weeks. And I'm finally to the point where I've got time to start hopefully doing these things again. I did get an email from somebody that was watching the channel, and they were like, "Hey, dude, you did 4 chapters, and where's like the rest of the stuff?" So that was a good prompt. I just decided I just needed to make the time and get back to it. So I'm super excited. Clearly, I'm going to be a bit rusty, but I've got my stuff set up. I've got the table set up. I think I've got all the equipment set up back. It's mothballed for several months. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's where I've been at. I'm excited to be back. So hopefully I can start bringing some more content. There's no change in plans as far as I'm not doing this full time as a content creator. I'm just doing it because I enjoy doing it. I think it's fun to film it. It's fun to see some interaction from you guys. And, I just throw this invitation out there. I throw this out in our Facebook group. If you're not part of our Facebook group, look us up on Facebook, Board Game Losers. If you ever have a game that you don't know how to play, or you want somebody to play with them, you guys know, you've seen on the channel. I use Skype and play with the Netherlands for 4 hours at a time. So we can make it happen. If you're here or you're close by in Georgia, hey, if you want to come over and hang out sometime, you're passing through and you want to get a game of something in on the way through, or staying close by, I'll come to you. I'd love to meet you guys and just enjoy the hobby that probably, if you're watching this channel, you already enjoy, but we can enjoy it together. So where are we at? Well, let me show you where we're at. We are back here in Altar Quest. So we did the first 4 chapters is where we left off. I spread these out just to show you kind of what there is. This visual tutorial, if you're new to Altar Quest, number 1, I would go back and start watching from the beginning of this series in chapter 1. But this tutorial, it's a guy by the name of Dr. Bandage on BGG did it. And the rule book is okay. Not amazing. Not the worst rule book by far I've ever read. But he does a really great job of going through the rule book and really kind of showing you and walking you through, probably 95% of the stuff that's out there. As far as how the dice work, and when you're putting people out, the features, the rooms, it breaks down each turn, and this is what you want. It's really good, and it's this tutorial, and it says it's got 2 disclaimers. It's a tutorial. It's not designed to teach you how to play well. Purposefully make strategically foolish moves to point to several points throughout. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. At several points throughout the game in order to show off the rules as completely as possible. Disclaimer 2: this is meant to supplement the rulebook, not replace it. And so there's some stuff that that has to do with the campaign and story modes that he didn't completely put in this. But as far as just like the basic, how to play stuff, this is the best place to start. So you definitely need to start with that when you're learning it. We have a rule book out here because, like I said, it's been a hot minute since I played, so I'm going to set that over there. And, this is where we're at out of Luxen. So we're going to start. We did chapter 4. We completed chapter 4. And actually, you know what? Before that, let's do something else. Well, nah, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do this first. So chapter 5, we're going to continue with the story. And we'll complete the story, make the decisions we have to make in the story. Then before we start, we're going to look at all the equipment and stuff, because if you remember last time at the end of chapter 4, we got a ton of equipment, because I managed to just run like a madman through a bunch of rooms. Hey, I just had to get to the end. I didn't have to kill everybody. And I got a bunch of supplies, so we got a lot of equipment. Some of it we couldn't use. So I looked through the equipment deck after, and I'm like, oh man, there's several things I wish we could have gotten, but we didn't. But everybody got at least one thing, and so that was good. That was cool. So we'll look at that, and then then we'll start playing. I'll read the quest stuff for you, so you kind of know what's going on there, because we do have a specific quest. The threat deck, I just randomly chose that, and the villain deck, it said we couldn't use Winona Morn, but I just randomly chose from the rest of those. So, hey, let's get started. And I guess you can see also, so if you remember our my Dungeon Crusade playthrough, I did a lot of this like sideways view. So I'm going to probably be doing the same thing for this, alternating between that and this top view. So yeah, that's what we're going to be at. So let's start through the story and see how we do. All right. So I do have 2 dogs in the house, so Tank may decide to be vocal, but hey. As Rob Warren says, who, if you've not heard of Rob Warren, if you've listened to the channel, there's no way you've not heard of Rob. But if you haven't heard of Rob, you need to go find his channel. He's an awesome guy. Got me watching YouTube channels like this for board games. Great man. I get to talk to him, email him, and hang out on his channel when I can. So yeah, go check him out if you haven't already. All right, so now it's story time with Justin. So this is the beginning of chapter 5. Huey's shortcut had already turned into... Well, you know what? Let's go back. I'm going to read the campaign upkeep for chapter 4. So this is the one we've already completed, just to kind of refresh our memory. And I say our because I mean me too. If the heroes won the quest, yeah, we did. Oh, excuse me. The monster's lair was a trial, but you managed to make your way through all the twists and turns, following the old man's little cloth clues to where they're holding him, fighting until the way was cleared. When you and Huey are safe from the threats, it's just a short climb back out onto the grass again. We got a random hero card, and we read a special entry. No, we did not defeat her, I don't believe. Then we added Huey to the journal. Yeah, cool. All right, so that's the end of that. So we got out of the things. Now we're out of the I guess the cave, the dungeon. So this is the beginning of chapter 5. Okay, let's try this again. Huey's shortcut had already turned into a side path. The side path then turned into a retracing of steps, and now the retracing of steps truly feels as though he has gotten you all terribly lost. If you would have just followed the road back, you'd be in Hawthorne by now. But no, you're on some twisting mountain road. The wind is nearly as biting as the flies. The sun is getting low, and the howls of awakening Lunarin echo out of the wilderness. When their bone-chilling voices die down, you prepare to launch into a verbal assault on your wandering guide. Wait, Huey interrupts. You hear that? And it says perform the first 2 steps. Normal game setup. I've already done that. And then each hero gains a focus. So here's the focus for each of our heroes. Focus. All right. Take care of hooves. The clip-clopping of hooves on a cobblestone road nearby. Roads mean towns. So I have to make a decision. Either head straight to the sound or tread carefully in the underbrush to investigate. I mean, I would say head straight to the sound. It says go to 43, so let's see. 43. Whoa. 43. Clopping a horse's hooves comes to halt as you leave the bushes and raise a hailing hand to its rider, causing it to rear slightly and pull against the reins. Two other riders, armored men with shields and spears in their arms, emerge from behind the first to come to eat a flank. Their weapons lower, but they do not proceed. Whoa! Throwing back her hood and revealing the insignia on her clasp, you see that she is one of Queen Valerie's protectors of the path. We are looking for servants of Lord Morse Bolton, compatriots of his that may have an old man in tow. By order of the Queen, have you seen them? Choose one of the following. Bring out Huey to tell the truth, and tell the truth, or try to hide Huey and get more information. She sent us. The Viceroy sent us down this path, so I would say probably just go with 50. After he refuses to come out willingly, you pull Huey out of the underbrush into the road, explaining to the Dame Protector that you were headed back to Hawthorne but got terribly lost. It is my fault, to be sure, Huey adds, fidgeting as nervously as the horses had been for the last few minutes. I got turned around after being a captive underground for so long. He bows. Can you show us the way? And that is the end of 50. So I guess that means we go back here. You mustn't go back to Hawthorne, the Dame Protector says plainly. Not till you see what was found in the library of Luxford. There are scrolls from the age of Lorick that speak of ill tidings and of the hellish offspring of Countess Morn herself. If you knew what we do, you'd stay far away from that Morse Bolton and come with us. Her two escorts canter behind your group, turning you into a road caravan of sorts. Now we could refuse to go. But I don't guess we'll do that. The road to Luxford was not nearly as long as Huey's shortcuts were taking you, causing you to let out a happy sigh when the staggered stone walls appear on the hill like the toothy lower jaw of a hungry prey. The Dame Protector hops off her horse and leads you toward the second largest building in the small town, letting her escorts walk off with her steed. Now it says each hero must test blue, which I forget what that is, but the blue 2, and at least half the heroes pass, rounding up, go to 42. So we got to do a test. So let's go down to the board for a test. All right, here we are on the board, and we've got to do a test. All right, so looking at our folks, remember this test, I'll just show you here. We're doing this test, test 2. So what we've got to do is blue 2. So we'll start with Gavin. His blue is a 2, and that is it. And this test is a test 2, so we need 2 successes, and one of these, either Willow or Gavin, has to pass this. So we'll start with Gavin. All right, well, there's at least 3 successes. Yeah, there's at least 2. There's 2 successes there. We'll do the same thing for Willow. Yeah, there's 2 successes there, so we're good to go with that. So we got to go to 42, and then we'll come back. 42, eh? 42. The town of Luxford is busier than you would have first believed, and you see that many groups of thugs or disgruntled commoners are watching you as you proceed through the streets. Huey moves from alley to alley, seemingly at home in this place, and even when the Dame wants to turn one way, he often simply goes another. Whether to avoid these onlookers or because he doesn't want to get followed, Huey made the route from the walls to the library almost as convoluted as his shortcuts back to Hawthorne. Here we go, he laughs as you emerge in a small pavilion square, right where I left it. Each hero gains a focus and draws a card. So, yay on the focus. So there's another focus and another focus, and they each draw a card. chair here. Cool. All right. So, Stalwart Commander. There's Gavin's card. Where's that at? That's right there. Stalwart Commander. That's Gavin's card. Each hero may discard 1 inspiration to gain 1 focus and 1 armor. That's pretty cool. And if it's light, we gain another inspiration. So that's nice. That's his card. I'm just going to set that right there for him. Well, actually, you know what? He should have those to begin with. And then he'll get an extra one. So they start out with 5, and then he gets an extra one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for her. And then 1 extra one. And what we'll do is we'll look at those. We'll look at those whenever we get to that point. So, is it the right button? Yes, that is the right button. Okay. Oh gosh. Yep. Oh, that was it. After the Lightning Walk, you reach the Steam Library of Luxford. In front of the 3-story stoic whitewashed library building sits a large regal carriage adorned with the seal of the Queen. 2 royal guardsmen, after seeing the Dame Protector at your front, pull open the heavy oak doors and bid you enter. Inside the Luxford Library are hundreds, perhaps thousands of books, scrolls, and tomes and the like. You are shown to a side room where, standing behind a pile of open books and unfurled scrolls, is Queen Valerie herself. 2 options: bow, or wait to be addressed. I mean, she's the queen, so I figure we probably should bow. So we're going to take that as the option. Entry 49. Please, she waves her hands at the stand. Please, she waves her hands at you to stand. This is not court, nor is this a throne room. I think we are beyond such formalities. There are far bigger things at stake, it seems, than etiquette. She gestures towards several of the scrolls in specific. I admire your spirit and your loyalty, but some of these old records have a lot to say to you in particular. Each hero gains a focus, and then we go to 3. Okay, so we get 2 more focus. And we're going to have a ton of focus before we even start. I don't remember if there's a limit to that or not. Like I said, it's been a hot minute. Hope not. And we go to 53. Right? Yeah, each hero gains a focus and go to 53. Please sit. Viceroy gestures to a ring of chairs around the table. We have been poring over these tomes and texts, and we found a troubling fact. She turns. I just had to freak out for a second. I thought, oh my gosh, I did not do the audio right. But I have a Yeti that does not work with this new laptop I've got, so I'm having to use the iPhone, so it might not sound as good. But it looks like it's got audio, so hopefully we're all right. Found a turn fact. She turns one of the scrolls around to better face you, her finger tapping on a gorgeous illustration of Loric's army assembling for battle. At the side of it, Huey leaps from his chair and stabs a thick digit into the page. It's Bolton. Morse Bolton led one of Loric's armies. I knew he was in league with that witch Morn. He pounds his fist against the table. No wonder he wants the altars destroyed. He knows what they mean to the resurrection. We go back here, so that's it. What your oddly familiar friend here is saying is true. Valerie narrows her eyes. Morse Bolton was a general in Loric's thrall armies, but there is more. He came to my aid when I stood against Kretch's manifestation at the time, and it was he that spirited away Loric's unholy ashes so he could not form anew. She scoops up another book and starts flipping pages, stopping and holding the book open to show everyone. Under her manicured fingertips is a stretch of a haggard, battle-weary Bolton holding 6 unique containers, one of which perfectly matches the urn from a few days ago. This shows that he took the 6 fragments of Loric's remains away from where he was slain, took them away, and now no one can find them. Crap. Of course he stole them. He probably hid them too, Huey blurts out angrily. He knows that they can be used to resurrect their Dark Lord if Morn's children consumes them, and he is using you, us, actually, to gather them up and deliver them like a solstice gift. Calm down, sir, Valerie scolds him, leveling a finger at his face. I've not lived as long as I have, or as well as I have, by doing things hastily. She pauses, allowing Hugh to return to his seat before turning back to you. Before we go on, Valerie leans in. Do you trust Bolton? Now I have to say yes or no. I mean, he helped us, but I mean, if those are the ashes, and yeah, I would probably say no. It says go to 52, so let's see what it says. If that is so, your worries are not totally unfounded. Our scholars have discovered um, that Frederick Morn, child of Winona Morn, could be given the 6 partial remains of Lorik to become the new Dark Lord of Veredica. Morse has always been outspoken and well known for his predilections, but if his ties to the Morns go deep enough to enact such a troubling scheme, she pauses and holds up a nightmarish picture of dark shadows and beasts rampaging the countryside. Then we must stop him. Setting the book down, she takes a deep breath. I know where we can find the next piece to the puzzle. No, Huey barks, leaping up at the Queen fast enough that many of you flinch. You're playing right into their hands, damn it. He begins to pace around the room, his gait alternating from a scholarly man to a half-crazed beast. If you go digging around and getting these ashes for him, you might as well be signing on to be a thrall yourself. He thrusts his finger at the Queen angrily, his eyes changing hue ever so slightly to a lavender indigo. You are playing into their plans, your highness. I won't be part of it. He crosses the room in 3 strides and slams the door loudly as he leaves the room, not waiting to be dismissed. Then it says, remove Huey from the journal. Okay. I'll do that in a second. There's no sense in doing that right now. Albeit rude, she continues after a moment. Your friend isn't exactly wrong. We will have to be very careful not to let Morn's agents, or Bolton's, if they are not one of the same, figure out what we're doing. If he's going to be a problem, it is best he's gone. I guess she's talking about Huey. If he's going to be a problem, it's best he's gone. She unrolls a map, holding it so you can read its many markings. See, this is where I think we can begin the search. Bang! The wooden shutter to the building's skylight slams closed, causing everyone in the room, no matter how brave, to jump in their seats. Looking up, you see a dark shape vanish out of the sights of the rooftop. Hells, the Queen explains. A spy. We have to go after it and make sure it doesn't report to Bolton, Morn, or anything else that might help set up his unholy Armageddon. Alright, now we're finally to the quest setup. Yeah. You wait as long as you can for Huey at the stables, but a light rain threatening to erase the spy of their tracks from the fresh ground has forced you to get moving early. With how angry he was getting about this and how much about him had changed over the last few months, you think that might actually be a good thing. The tracks lead you to an old keep whose bottom floors were swallowed up by the peat bog decades ago. The creatures in this glorified hole might not have anything to do with the Morns, or even the altars, but it is upon you to hunt them down and make sure. So, finally, quest deck, the hunt, threat deck. We as in me, we picked the crawl. That was random. Villain deck, again, that was random. And the villain is... Who is the villain? No, you know what? I take that back. It wasn't random. I picked the crawl, and then I was like, thematically, let's go with it. So I used the crawl. What is the name? Vivian. She is the enemy, the villain. Yeah. Yep. All right. So that is our setup, and with that, we've completed the story portion. Story time with Justin comes to an end, sadly. But now it's Murder the Enemy time with Justin, which begins, and who wouldn't be excited about that? So, I'm just going to keep this short since the story section. We're going to go ahead and end this particular episode here. Give me a good place to stop. And stay tuned for the next episode where we will start in this dungeon. Give you a little preview here. We'll start in this dungeon. And we'll see what's going on. I guess what I will do, actually, let's go ahead and do this. Um, we'll go ahead and look at each of the characters, each of our heroes, and what kind of stuff they're running gear wise. And then, yeah, we will, in the next video, we will just go ahead and just straight up start the dungeon. So let's go over to our heroes. As you can see, they're right over there. And let's see what they got. Okay, I'm not sure. Crap. I think I just went over everything for her. I did not realize that my recording was paused and not actually going. So I guess we're going to do this again. Um, she's got 1 armor by default, 10 health. A total, if I did the math right with everything, she's going to end up with 14 health. These 3 focus tokens are from the story. She gets the 2 story cards. One is an urn, and one is something else. But basically, she can add a health, and then if she's attacking Winona, she gets some benefits, and she can exhaust this card to cancel an alter effect, even though she rolls the die. But I mean, realistically, when we look at the altar, because that was also randomized when I did the quest setup. Oh, I should do over that too. It doesn't matter because it's not one of those crappy ones. Fortunately for us. Cards. She's got Rousing Finale, and I'm not gonna read through these. I'll just throw them up real quick so you can see them. It's an action card. It's an attack. Merry Minstrel. I'll put these down here. Merry Minstrel, which is a test that's letting her hand out melody tokens. An ongoing melody cards that gives them a little bit of a boost, or they can basically get rid of it to go 2 spaces and heal 2 damage. So that's nice to have a little bit of a healing other than supplies. A search card, and she gets additional. Well, that search is 2 for her. She get 3 on a search if she had a melody token on her, and you can use this flame to get a supply. So I'm excited about that. Inspiring Chorus. You know, she's a hero within range. Oh yeah, this lets somebody within range move up some more spaces, which is nice. Of course, she's got to be close to them, and within range 3 means she could also do it to herself if she needed to. Battle Hymn. It's a green attack, which for her is 2. For the stack, you may discard a melody token from your token to add +1. So she could potentially do a 3 attack. But this darkness down here either move to 3 spaces so she could do the boot, scoot, and boogie, or deal 1 damage to an enemy within range, and it's a range of 4, so it's a pretty big range. And that's 6 cards. Remember, we got 1 extra card again from the story. So now let's look at her items. Of course, this loot, that's what lets her hand out melody tokens. This Ring of Intellect, so it lets her do Yellow Test, Inflict and Resist with an additional die and with Fire. Any test, regardless of the type for the Yellow Moon attribute, you're going to get an additional die, so that's nice. She got a 2 in that. And yeah, he had a 2 in that too, but that is a trinket, and the Bury Looter trinket. And remember, you can only have 2 trinkets on your characters. We have an Enchanted Cloak. We got this, I believe, last time. These are a little bit more health and a way to get armor that uses water. So we've got some water, fire, water, and then this Staff of Haunting. Now, I will say with this one, if you remember, we were using the slingshot before with a 5. This only has a range of 2, so I'm sacrificing some range. But the exhaust action, or or it's not action, but the exhaust option with this, deal 1 damage to an enemy in your room and move it up to 2 spaces. So, it might be good at just finishing something off in the room, or maybe moving some enemies around to try to kind of get them out of the way of us or in the way of another monster to stop them from being able to move. Is kind of what I'm hoping with that. So that is Willow. Her total health is 14. So she's got 10 from her normal health, 1 from this health, that's 11. And then she's got a 3 for her enchanted cloaks, that's a total of 14. So she's got 14 health. And yep, that is Willow. So next, let's go to our boy Gavin. All right, guys. So let's take a look at Gavin's cards. So he has his inspiring leadership. This is his regular card here, and he can exhaust this. What is this? Which one is this? So he's got Valerie's message, and he's got this vampiric infection, and so since we're saying he's the party leader, he gets Valerie's message. So you can exhaust it to discard 1 focus to change 1 die, or to change 1 alter die to result of your choice. So you can kind of manipulate the alter dice. And with his vampiric infection, he actually gets +2 health so far. That'll probably come back and be a negative thing later, but that's where we're at so far. He's got his Luminary Pendant, which he's had. The Great Axe, I kept that because that gives me the attack targets up to 2 enemies within range. So, and that, of course, the red stat is his best stat. So, Sacred Vestments. So this is where he's going to get his blue, which is 2, to add to his health. So that's good. And we can get armor with that. And then an amulet. His orange tests are 1 better and can exhaust an alter die to get an additional die. So that's his stats. This Sacred Vestments is what he got from the chapter 4. So we'll take a quick look at the cards that I've drawn initially for him. And I believe, let's see, he's got 1, 2, 3. He's got 4 upgraded. Look at his hand next. He's got 4 upgraded cards in his deck. 2. And then 3 upgraded cards for Willow in her deck. Commander, Stalwart Commander is the first card. Let's do the inspiration. Valiant Stand. It's an action. Each hero. So, it says each hero may discard 1 inspiration to change 1 alter die result to their choice. You may then discard 1 inspiration to attack. So, the way that I read that is that it doesn't say within range for the heroes. So I think that's, to me that looks like everybody. Well, no, I take that back. I guess they got to be within 1 of him. And then he's got this leading the charge card twice, which is similar. No, because look, this card says play within range. Play this on a hero within range, so I guess not. That Light of the Luminary lets him move, get rid of inspiration and move, whoever that's on. And then this Shielded by Faith is basically going to be kind of like a tanky type situation. So that is his cards, and that is everybody's cards now. So there you go. Now we're caught up. So the next part is, of course, favorite part. Where we actually get to start busting some skulls. I did want to mention this because I did not mention this. I forgot to mention this. Oh, I got to talk about the quest too, so never mind. Um, we do have a enemy upgrade card, and so all the minions have an additional health. Rivals have 2 health, and each villain gains what is going to be. Good grief! It's going to be 2 health. With its setup, I'll read you the crawl card for who we're playing as. The crawl had descended on Eradikia for much of the same reason as many of the other races in Runa, to seek power and favor with the runes. As far as the crawl concerning the altars of the first sign of the coming of Black Sky. So that's who our minions are. For the threat tokens, which are, it's hard to see from there, but that's these guys. Their tokens represent the crawl's ability to blend into the shadows. Each time a minion threat spawns, it gets 3 of them. For each threat token a minion threat has, adds 1 to its defense value. Once during their turn, a hero may discard any number of focus. For each focus discarded, the hero may discard 1 threat token. So basically, these threat tokens are going to give them much better defense, which is going to suck. So that's how the threat tokens work for them. Now the good thing is, yeah, I don't know if there's really a good thing. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. Let's just be honest. It's just gonna be rough. Um, so that's the minions. So we'll talk about the villain. We'll just do the villain cards. Talk about the villain. Vivian. Whenever we get done with that, get to that point. For the quest, it's called the Hunt, and it says the lure of power can attract all manner of nefarious individuals. So normally the lurker deck has a whole bunch of lurkers in it. For this particular scenario, we basically took 2 random rival cards. I don't know what they are, and 5 more lurker cards to make the lurker deck. And then we have a separate tracking deck for the Hunt. And yeah, and we do also know, when building the feature deck, shuffle together the ultrasound card and 2 other feature cards and place them at the bottom of the feature deck. So it's in the bottom 3 somewhere. So quest rules. If there is, in this case it says 1 piece, that would be 2 for us. Tokens on this card and the altars in the revealed room, the heroes have thwarted the rivals' plans to win the game. So really, we have basically, for this, it says each time a non-tracking card game effect instructs a hero to draw a lurker card, that hero instead draws a threat card. So we got to remember that. So we're not always going to be drawing lurker cards, we're going to be drawing threat cards. But it says each time a rival is defeated, place 1 quest token on this card. So the rivals are going to have to come out, and basically we're going to have to destroy both of the rivals. And then once we do that and get into find the altar. Now it doesn't say we have to get to the altar, don't have to do anything. It says the altar, if there's 2 quest tokens on this card and the altar is in a revealed room. So really, we just have to kill the 2 rivals, and that's it. And find the room. We don't have to get to the stairs. We don't have to get to the altar. Don't have to do anything like that. So when this card activates, because remember this card does activate, each rival heals 1 damage unless a hero adjacent to that rival discards a focus. And then it says for each quest token on this card, a hero must either discard one focus or draw a threat card. So basically, this card is going to be taking the focus away from us. So normally I would like to use focus to do a lot of damage, but I need to make sure that we're saving focus, especially, towards the end when we start fighting those rivals and we kill one. We need to make sure that we're saving focus so that we're not drawing a bunch of threat cards. Because it will be very, very bad. It'll be very, very bad. That sucks though, because we really need that focus. But anyway, what else is there? We'll go through the altar and all that when we go. But we did get the storm altar, so its activate effect. Each hero may discard one focus to change one altar die to a result of their choice. And then if we're in the altar room, they can move one enemy in the room up to 3 spaces. I mean, we might could draw them in, I guess, to the altar room and then use that to block other people or get the ones that we don't want close to us out of the way. But if there is wind, each hero with no focus suffers a damage. So again, we want to be keeping focus because it says if there is wind, each enemy also suffers a damage. So, we won't win, but we need. If we have wind, we need focus. That's what it basically boils down to. So, yeah, there you go. That's where we're at, and that's the end of this video. We will see you guys in the next video where we will actually start trying to find these rivals, hunt them down, and complete Chapter 5. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Again, I'm Justin from the Board Game Losers, and I will see you, my friends, in the next video. Bye, guys.